viewers, you are welcome to Yinky Couture channel. This is where I share lots of sewing tutorials. If you are new here, please feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Today I'll be showing you how to make a circular blouse or a pant with a fitted pant. I mean the circular blouse, we have straps. So this is the idea of what I want to make. It's a circular blouse like this. So the circular pattern will be a 180-degree flare. If you haven't watched my circular pattern tutorial, please, I implore you to watch that so as to understand how to cut your circular pattern. So we have different degrees of circular patterns, but I'm using 180 degree for this, for the sake of this tutorial. So it will have strap. So the strap will be an extension of a band, of a 2.5 inches band. So this band will be from here to here, will be like 2.5. I'm going to use my off shoulder pattern. The off shoulder pattern, if you haven't watched that too, the link is there. You can watch how to draft an off shoulder blouse. So I'm going to modify the off shoulder blouse to make this circular blouse. So let's get. So this is the off shoulder pattern. So I'll be using this Ankara material to make the circular top, and on this edge I have 2 right angles. On this edge I have 2 right angles, which makes it 180 degree because a right angle is 90 degree. So I'll be cutting on this edge. The measurement for this tutorial is the top length, and the top length is 25 inches. 25 inches from the shoulder, but because it is an off shoulder, I'll subtract 5. So the circular length now will be 20 inches. From this, from here to here will be 20 inches. Then the neck width. The neck width is here to here. The neck width I'll be using 11 inches. And also the strap length. The strap length, I'll only multiply my shoulder circumference by 2 for the strap. So I will show you how to place the strap. And from here we can go forward now, because we are modifying an off shoulder pattern. So I will bring the off shoulder pattern here and show you how to do the modification. This is the off shoulder pattern I will be using. So before I do that, I must know my shoulder circumference, and the shoulder circumference I'm using for this tutorial is 38 inches. So I'll show you how to measure your shoulder circumference. So the shoulder circumference is 38 inches. Then I'll input, that means the circumference for this circular pattern is 38 inches, which is what will be here all round. As you can see, from here all through to the back is 38 inches. So that means my circular pattern will be 38 inches for the circumference. So the circumference here is 38 inches. So how will I get that 38 inches? Is what I will show you how to measure now. Circumference over 2 pi multiplied by 2, and from there my circumference is 38 inches over 2 times 3.142 multiplied by 2. Then from there I will have, if you use your calculator, 38 divided by 2 times 3.142 will give you 6.04 times 2, and if you do that you have 12.0. So I have 12 inches as my radius. So my radius, the radius now to calculate, now to draft it out, to draft a perfect 38 inches out is 12. But for the sake of convenience, I can still do like this, but I'm still working on this edge. As you can see, I just want it to be convenient, that's why I folded it into 4 like that. So I will measure my 12 inches out. As I have it here now, if I cut this out now, I'm going to have the 38 inches circumference here. So from here I'll measure the length of the top. So that this is where I'll bring my pattern. So from here you're going to input your top length, and the top length is 20 inches. With the sewing allowance, I'll have 1.5 at the hem and ½ inch here, making 2 inches altogether. So adding the 2 inches to it will give me 22 inches. Then I'll measure it out, 22 inches. Then I'll chalk it. I'll follow the mark here, 22 inches. I'll mark it all around. Then the next thing is to cut it out. So this is my circular pattern. So I'm going to remove this side, which is the armhole. So I can notch this now as my front and back. So the next thing to do is to know where my strap will fall. The strap is 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to measure 2 inches because of the sewing allowance. That's why I'm not cutting 2.5 inches out here, because I'm still going to use ½ inch to input the strap. So I'll measure 2 inches here. I'll go like that. I'll follow the line 2 inches all through to replace my strap. Then I'll cut this out. Remember to always notch. So I'll go and place this in a separate place. So I will use this to cut out the length of this is the strap. The length of the strap can be as long as I want it. As for me, the length of my strap for the front, I want it to be 40 inches, and for the back also 40 inches. So I'll add extra 2 inches for the sewing allowance. So I'm having 21 inches on fold here. So you place it. Then the width is 3.5 inches. The reason why the width is 3.5 inches is from here to here is 3.5 inches, because I'm going to use 1 inch to sew and it will remain 2.5. So I want to cut it out after chalking. So I have this as my strap. To fix this, I'm going to notch the middle so as to fix it back on the neck width. So this is what I'm going to fix back on the neck width. I'll place the middle on the middle of the neck width and fix it back after turning it. So I have this. I'm going to go on my machine now and turn it. But before I turn it, I'm going to do something now. Since the neck will be fixed here, as you can see, I'm going to place the middle on the middle and notch it out. So that here, I'm not going to turn this place. I'll come in by 1 inch. I'm not going to turn this place. The neck width will not be turned. I will notch it out. So I'm going to turn every other places, but here that I'm going to fix here, I will not turn it because I will stitch it on this neck. You are welcome back. Right now I want to draft the pant because we are through with the top. So the next thing you will do is to draft your border. You draft your border by using your waist, your trouser measurement. The total trouser measurement, trouser length is what we use to draft your border, like I did. So the total measurement for the trouser length is 21 inches. So I will add 2 inches extra allowance for the hem and also for this up the waist part. So I have 23 inches all together here. Then I will square it up with a straight line just to create a border, and from there I'm going to insert my vertical measurement, all the lengths that I needed. So I will insert the lengths like so. The first one is the waist. We start from here. This is where the waist will be. Then I will mark it out. This will indicate the waist. Then right now I will move to the hip. The hip is 7 inches. And also I need the crotch height. If you haven't watched my video on how to draft a pant, you can watch that to know how you can get your crotch height. So you will see a picture of how you can measure your crotch height there. So the crotch height I'm using for this tutorial is 9 inches. So the 9 will be here. And also I need the upper thigh measurement. That one is 3 inches from the crotch height. 3 plus 9 will give me 12. And from there, my total trouser measurement that I told you, then I'll have 21 and half here, and the remaining will be for the hem. So I'm going to input the hip measurement, and the hip measurement I'm using for this tutorial is 40 inches. 40 inches divided by 4 will give me 10 inches here. So on the hip line, I will input 10 inches, and also on the crotch height, I will input 10 inches. I'm going to use a straight line to connect the hip measurement up like this. So the next thing to do now is to input the waist measurement on the waistline, and the waist measurement is 8.5. 8.5 plus 1 inch dart intake will give me 9.5, and that is what I input now. So after that, I'll go to the hip line, and since the hip measurement is there already, I'm going to connect the point from the waist to the hip with a hip curve ruler, like so. So from there, on the crotch height, I will divide the hip measurement by 4. What is here on my hip line, I'm going to divide it by 4 to create my crotch depth. So what I have here is 10 inches divided by 4 will give me 2.5. Then I'll input 2.5 here. So I will extend it with my straight ruler. Then I will come here on my hip line, I'll measure 1/2 inch. So the next thing to do is to come to the crotch line and measure what is there. I have 12.5. Then I will divide 12.5 by 2. I have 6 1/4. The essence of this is to have a straight pant. So the 6 1/4 is what I'm going to measure to the side seam. I'm going to measure the 6 1/4, indicating it with a mark. I will measure it all through. I will measure it on the hip line. I will measure it on the waistline. Then I will connect the point through. Here, I'm going to input the upper thigh measurement. I will indicate another straight line with it for the upper thigh measurement, and the upper thigh measurement is all the measurements here. Now I'll be dividing it by 2. So I have, for the upper thigh measurement, I have 23 for the circumference. I have 23 inches for the circumference. So 23 inches divided by 2 will give me 11.5. 11.5 divided by 2 will give me 5 3/4. And I'll also measure the 5 3/4 on this side also. Here for the round knee, because this is a knee length trouser. So what I have here is 16 inches divided by 2 will give me 8. 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. So 4 here and also 4 here. So I'm going to connect all the points together. Now the next thing to do is to extend the connection here. I just realized my camera stopped. So what I did is that after connecting this line here for the thigh and the total trouser length measurement, so I came here to extend this measurement to the total length of the trouser, and when I get here, which is the hem, I came out a little bit because I'm still going to fold this one so that it won't be short of fabric. That's why I extend this to this side a little. Then when I come to the waist, I input my waist measurement at my waist dart, and the waist dart is 1 inch, half. Then the waist length is the dart length is 5 inches. So we are through with this. The next thing to do is to cut the front pattern out. So right now this is the front pattern. Then I'll get another paper to draft the back pattern. So by placing it like this, I have my back pattern. So we are going to do some manipulations. So on the crotch length, I'm going to extend by 2 inches forward and come down by ½ inch. For the back bodies, what you will do is that you will add 1 inch allowance here and 1 inch on this side also, and that is what I have done. When you get to the upper thigh, which is here, you stop, and when you get to the hip, you stop here, then here, then you take your ruler to extend it. So before you take your ruler, you will come here, you come inward by 1½ inch, then you go up by 1½ inch, and this point is what I'll connect all through to this point, because you come down here by ½ inch. So I'm going to do that now. And connect this like so. So now come here and input my waist measurement, whatever is here. 9½ is what I have here. I will input it here for the waist measurement and come down to this point. 9½ will stop here. So I'll connect it with my straight ruler. The reason why I use 1½ is because this is a low waist trouser. I don't want it to come up too much. So I'll blend it with my curve ruler, hip curve. So I have my so I can as well input my dart like so. Then since I told you the leg is 5 inches, so I have my back trouser ready. The next thing to do now is to cut it out. So I will use it to cut out the material now, and you will see the result. So I have the front pattern of the pant, and this is the back pattern of the pant, as you can see. And this is the off-shoulder strap blouse. This is the off-shoulder 180-degree flare. And we've come to the end of the tutorial. Feel free to subscribe, like and share. See you in my next video. Bye.